We've talked a couple times already on the title insurance experience about farming, about some of the things to watch for and take into account in your geographic marketing plan. And the place where title really comes into the picture with farming traditionally is data, getting you the information that you need in the area that you're going to be working for a successful marketing plan. So today's episode looks into the nitty-gritty of the data that Title provides and how they provide it. I'm Will Gray, and you are watching the Title Insurance Experience. A farm package from Title is really a collection of everything that you can find on public record for that neighborhood that might be relevant to your marketing efforts in there. And frankly, a lot of information that probably won't be that relevant to your marketing there. Here are some of the things you can usually expect to find in a farm package. First, the APN. The APN is cool because it's a unique identifier within the county for each individual piece of real property, whether it's a house, a gas station, a commercial building, a warehouse. Whatever the case, every property has its own APN. This is valuable because just going by property addresses, the addresses aren't always precise, they're not always concise, and they're not standardized. They're harder to manage and sort than a single assessor's parcel number. Also, quite a few parcels of real estate, like vacant land for instance, may not have an actual site address. That being said, the next piece of information to look for in your farm package will be the address. And I'm not here to give you an explanation on what an address is, but I do want to note that there will be two addresses for each property in a farm package. The site or situs address, which is the physical address of the property, and the mailing address for the owner. Of course, often the site address and the mailing address will be the same, but if the property has an absentee owner, there will be a difference between the two. But usually you don't have to rely on finding a difference between the site address and mailing address to tell whether or not a property is owner occupied, because there's a special data field just for that, the occupancy status of the property. Extremely useful if you're sending out absentee specific pieces or something owner occupant specific like invitations to a neighborhood event. Speaking of the owner, the next piece of super relevant information is the names of the owner or owners on title to the property. You'll also find out the date of the last transfer and if it was a sale, the sale price. In most cases, you'll also find property characteristics. I say most cases because in some counties, in some situations, thanks to the magic of bureaucracy, some of that information actually is unavailable. But generally, you can expect to find how many bedrooms and how many bathrooms are in each home, the square footage of the living space, and the square footage of the lot. The property characteristics can be really helpful not only if, for instance, you're using the farm package to find just the right home for a buyer, but also if you're looking for a particular model. The name or model number relating to a floor plan within a tract is not a matter of public record, so the closest you can come usually is to really zero in on the property characteristics that are unique to that model. There are a variety of other data points in there also, and as far as marketing goes, most of these miscellaneous data points will be really only useful in highly specific situations. One fun data column that comes up pretty often in farm packages is whether the address is odd or even. And you might be thinking, why do I need this spreadsheet to tell me whether the house number is odd or even? That's actually used for door knocking or walking the farm when you might want to divide up the addresses into the odd numbers that are on one side of the street and the even numbers that are on the other, so you're not zigzagging back and forth on your door knocking route. Not only is there a lot of data in a farm package, the actual form that that package can take has a few different variations. These days, the go-to, most popular by far, is the CSV, or spreadsheet format. It's digital, of course, super easy to deliver to you by email quickly, and it's really easy to send it off to a mailing house that's handling your printing and postage for your mail pieces. You can also use it to slice and dice some of the data in the farm, run some of your own analytics, search for super relevant information, compare different data fields, add all the filters. I have a lot of fun with spreadsheets, and if you do too, this is the format you'd probably like to receive your farm. Some people, though, prefer the classic. So we have the 6-line farm available as a PDF or a printed, bound, hard copy farm. And it has a lot of the same data that's in the CSV. It's just in a more readable format to a human than a spreadsheet might be. You can also get these hard copies with some extra room in between the different entries where you can take notes, which is great if you're going to be door knocking in the farm, or if you have a source for phone numbers and you're going to be dialing through the owners and want to keep some notes as you go. Another hard copy physical version of the farm, but with much more limited information, is the actual mailing labels. Title companies can send you a set of labels where there's one label for every home in the farm. And by default, it's going to the mailing address of all the homeowners. You can specifically request, though, that it go directly to the property in every case if you're advertising something like a neighborhood event that wouldn't be relevant to the absentees. You can also request that absentee-owned property be left out of the run. It can definitely save you some time in do-it-yourself mailing, but it's not going to be your go-to for data on the farm because the information is much more limited than all the different data points I talked about earlier. You're just getting the owner name and the mailing address. You can also pull a farm package through one of our apps like WFG On The Go, which in addition to having the data at your fingertips in your phone, gives you a great interface for walking in the farm, especially for door knocking, where you can visualize where you are and where the different properties are on an actual map. You can have it show you which homes are absentee-owned and owner-occupied at a glance, and take notes directly into each record that you can then export, including contact information that they might give you during your knocking, into a spreadsheet that can even be loaded directly into your CRM. And if you're a Fetch Power user, you can export the CSV and the PDFs that we talked about directly from Fetch, which can give you a lot of flexibility in choosing your own filters and really playing with the data in real time. So, for what neighborhood to request a farm package for and what to do with it when you get it, check out my past videos on farming. There's a lot of information there for you to help you get started. And to get the actual data for the farm that you've chosen and you're ready to hit the ground running, hit me up. Go to will4title.com/contact. We'll get you all set up and ready to go get some listings. While you're at it, don't forget to like and subscribe so you don't miss an episode. And on that note, this is WG from WFG saying, see you next time.